and welcome to my channel. Let me turn that light on. Um, I just wanted to show you this flashlight, mainly because it's going to be in one of the things that's in the giveaway. I ordered some batteries from Sofren and WooCourse, and when you order just batteries, a lot of times they send you a flashlight, with it. So I got several of these, and I don't need them all. So, anyways, what I wanted to talk about, though, oops, I'm gonna drop my ruler. Well, there are no rulers here. There are no rules here, and that's a rule that we're gonna stick with. All right. This is a pretty good little basic flashlight. Now, this zoom thing right here, this doesn't do anything. I mean, it's just telling you what it does, but it doesn't. It's not correlating with, you're now at 1000x or you're at this. It just tells you if your little beam is like this, you're at 1x, and if this, you're at 2000. I don't know. Anyway, it's a 21700 type of battery. Where are my 21700s? It's a 21700 type battery flashlight, right? But it comes with this little sleeve here, which allows you to use an 18650 in it. So you can use either or. The capacity, of course, is going to be, this one happens to be at 3.6 volts, but still, the capacity is going to be more, 2000 milliamps more with the 21700. Of course, it weighs more and all that other stuff. And they work perfectly fine this way. But what I wanted to talk about, though, before we get into the flashlight completely, is I've had this battery for quite a while, and it came out of up at work when I was working at fiberglass place. These guys would come in with all kinds of little gimmicks, the paracord thing. There's this one guy, that was his little hustle. He'd get these things and try to sell them at work. And he was selling these little round little phone battery chargers, cell phone chargers, and it had one of these in it. And you look at it and you think, wow, 3000 milliamps, 18650. Thing is, it's pretty light, And when I ran it through my battery charger, you know what this thing has in it? 184 milliamps. So, they can write anything they want on there. Now, this one was before they started catching on because, people started saying, oh, wow, the difference, is this one weighs significantly more than that one. Well, what they would do is take a button cell battery and put it down here that's rated, at 3.7 volts. And then they'd fill the rest up with sand. And they just have a positive lead going down here and that down there. So you'd feel it and you'd think, hey, they get the weight, about right, because sand, it's pretty easy to put in there. And it electronically worked, for a little bit, for a button cell capacity bit. So you got to be aware of this. And I'm not going to take this one apart, but I guarantee you there's something like that in there. There's just, it doesn't have the capacity. You can tell it's bottom heavy, what heaviness it is. This is uniformly heavy all the way through. But anyways, this little flashlight here, at first when I first got it, I thought, oh, it's just a simple flashlight. I'm going to put an 18650 in there. It's got a pretty good strong spring on this, and there's quite a bit of battery sticking out. There's not a lot of threads here. So, this is a free flashlight, so just think of it that way. You got to push it in pretty hard and turn it. Now it's what they call a zoomie. If you look at it, it goes in, and it's got this lens. Let me turn this off. And inside that lens is the emitter board, and the LED. And the LED itself has got a dome on it too. I don't know what it's running, but it's not. This thing is something that you could give to your kids or whatever, and not have to worry about them setting the tent on fire or the forest on fire. or anything like that. So this is your beam pattern, and that stuff you're seeing through the camera, you don't see this with the human eye. I mean, you're looking at this, I don't see that ripple going on at all. But it can zoom down. Now, the thing about when I was doing this on a wall is you'll get to a point, this one's not doing it. It'll get to where this thing is over focused, where you can actually see, there it is. You can actually see the emitter on the wall. We're getting it there. You see it? You get the right focal beam and you'll get that. And all you got to do is, to keep that, is just don't go all the way out with it. You know, keep the spot. So you're thinking, all right, yeah, that's all right. It's just a little flashlight. You push it again. I think it's got 3 modes, like high, medium, low, and then a strobe. I didn't know it had that, you know, before until I started messing around with it. It's got a strobe, and then an SOS, and then it goes back to the thing. So the only problem and there's several problems, but one of the things is there's no memory mode on it. So you're going to go to whatever the next cycle is. You think, oh, I like this, I want to keep it at high. No, the next time you come on, it's going to be at medium, and then it's going to be at low, and then you're going to get strobe. So if you thought you liked low, well, the next time it comes on, you're going to get strobe, and then SOS. So once you know the sequence, you say, all right, I'm going to turn it off at SOS because I like it to be at high when it comes on. So that's the way you do it. And just click on and off. There's no double tap. There's no extra hold. It's all tail switch operated. This doesn't glow in the dark, but it fluoresces. So it's not phosphorescent, it's fluorescent. But it does shine up with the UV light. When you hit that, man, this thing shines up super green. But it's not a bad flashlight. It's got an aluminum body, like I said. You see these being advertised on TV, I'm sure. This is like the TAC Force Super 1000 Mega, you know, whatever. Not a bad flashlight. Now, I'm not going to ship a battery with it because shipping batteries, you got to declare them and they do all that. But you will get the flashlight with the little sleeve insert in it. And you'll just have to get your own 18650s. Now, the other thing is, on that post that I linked, there's a difference between series and parallel. So when you take, if you were to take 2 of these 18350s and put them together in there, which is the way the flashlight was shipped on the ones, I've got some 18350s coming in. Even with that in there, if you were to turn it on, you're going to burn out the emitter on these things because these are inexpensive ones. So I'm sure there's no over voltage protection and stuff like that. There is a reverse polarity protection though. I put a battery in backwards on one of them. See these flat top 21700s? You got to really look close when you're putting them in because they both have the wrap around them and everything. But I put it in backwards and it didn't work, and I went, uh-oh, I just fried this. But I put it in the right way and it works fine. So, yeah, they're not necessarily any brighter with the 21700 in there. It does feel heavier in the hand. I mean, you know, because this thing's not super heavy flashlight. Maybe somewhat brighter, I don't know. But all the same functions go through. SOS. So like I said, it doesn't get hot. It doesn't get hot at all. It doesn't even get warm. So it's whatever it's got in there, they're not going crazy with driving it, you know. Driving it crazy. Hey, come back here. 18350 ran away. Oh, I should have brought my little doohickey over. Let me go get it. Patty's potato peelers had a thing on it. He's got a little pocket magnet. This one's supposedly rated at 16 pounds, but I got a 10-pound barbell and it didn't pick it up. But this is great for when you drop something. You're an old man, you drop something, you don't have to bend over or get your flashlight out and search it. If it's magnetic, it'll pick it up for you. But yeah, I just wanted to show you that little flashlight. I haven't picked this month's knife or anything yet. Peppy's been out there having a good time. But yeah, I just wanted to show you that. This little sleeve. Now they make a thing, like if all you had was an 18350, they make adapters that basically, it's just an inert shell of a battery. It just has a plus and a minus with no battery in there. And it would allow you to put 2 of those in there and run it like that, because you're still only keeping it at 3.7 volts. But there you go. That's your partial update on what's been going on and everything, and a heads up on batteries. The only thing you can do on these things, like these that are made in China and stuff, is see if anybody's tested them and stuff. And I know these Workhos are good, and the Sofrens, because it's just like this. You look at these two and you say, which one should I get? Well, this is 3.7 volts and 4,000 milliamps. And this one's 3.6 volts and 5,000 milliamps. But it's not as simple as that. This one's a high drain. So if you look at the data sheet on it, this thing can take like something like 14 amps or something. It says 40 amps. But I mean, it can take a lot more amps, whereas this one is just designed not as high amp drain. So what's the difference? Well, it depends on how much current you're pulling on your emitter, you know. If on turbo, your thing is sucking up a lot of amps, which it usually is, that's the most amps it is, this one's not going to be able to stay at turbo as long as this one would, just based upon the way the battery is rated. But this one's not going to last as long overall as this one. So, that's why I said I put that link up there on the basic electronics, because there's a lot more to it involved than, you know, you can figure out how long. If my emitter is drawing 1 amp, you know, and this thing's rated at 4,000 milliamps, you know, we can just divide how many, you know, milliamps into hours, milliamp hours into amps, you know, 4,000 milliamps equals 1 amp, crap like that. But it's more complicated than that, because you have, what is the cutoff voltage? Does your flashlight have, you know, under voltage protection and stuff like this? And sometimes those numbers are not real on there, you know, because that's how they can sell these things for $5. You think, oh, how can they sell that for $5? It's a charger, and it's got an 18650 battery in it and everything. Yeah, because they're cheating. They take a little, you know, it doesn't cost them near as much for a little battery like that, and then the rest of the circuit is pretty cheap, so they're making a pretty good profit. And you won't know until you go to use it. Because when I was using these, I go, man, this thing charges up pretty fast. It also discharges pretty fast. It doesn't charge for crap. And then when I got the tester, I found out, yeah, that's why. Because it's nowhere near 3,000. It isn't even close to even this guy. It's nowhere near even that, which is, you know, half of that. So they got away with scamming people. So if you see these, stay away from. This is an old one. I mean, I imagine this is probably 10 years old or so. So if you see any of those, watch out for those. So I've got 2 of them, both of them tested out. Junk, bad. Anyways, there you go. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.